Everyone. It's always great. I'm just going to share my screen today. Hopefully, we're going to have an interactive session. And what I want us to do today is to talk about my favorite topic, and no surprises, customer experience. It's always about the customer. Everything I I talk about, but I like it because it's at the end of the day, it's a very important foundation you have to lay your business to get a lot of things right. So here we are. And one of the things I'm going to be talking about, or what I'm going to be focusing on today is teams. And when I talk about a team, I'm not just talking about the people that you employ. I'm talking about yourself as well. How do you make the team deliver exceptionally? Because I mean, I've been to even to some of the organizations that I have engaged with recently via conversations, informal chats, interviews, etc. A lot depends on the productivity, the efficiency, and the health of the team. So you cannot talk about customer service, customer experience, delivering exceptionally if the team, you haven't gotten it right. And if the team haven't got a very good understanding of what they're supposed to be doing and they're not all on the same page, eventually the customer will suffer. And you don't want to be in a place where you have already capped the excellence you can deliver because your team is found wanting. So a lot of things we're going to talk about today are going to be focused on the business leadership, and the teams who do the execution as well. But again, we're going to be looking at a lot of things from the customer perspective. So in terms of an agenda, I don't think we need to do an introduction. I think we're already used to our faces. I'll do a bit of an icebreaker. I've got a question I'd like us to explore. I'll do a bit of leadership and strategy, mainly from a customer-focused perspective. So I'm not going to go into the whole John C. Maxwell thing, which is kind of like Bass's area, or even Mary's area as well. But it's going to be more of, as management, as leadership, what are some of those things that you can put in place? What are some of those things you can do to help you build a strong, robust customer experience framework that your business can rely on? Then I'll talk about some of the responsibilities that teams can take. Because oftentimes what I find is that, yes, the team is now empowered. They're now here, yes, we can, this is what customer experience is, customer services. But the next thing is they don't even know what they're supposed to do next. Are they waiting to be told what to do? Are they supposed to go and interpret things in their own way? There's always that confusion. So what I try to do here is to kind of like start to highlight a number of things that teams can start to do almost immediately, or things that they can consider, again, to help build and execute a strong customer experience framework that delivers excellently to customers. And of course, a bit of Q&A at the end. And one thing I always like to mention is that when we talk about things that the teams will do. Again, this is not only focused on the people that you employ. It also includes the team leads or the business owners as well. So can you guys still see my screen? I see. Can you guys see my screen? I think my internet is a bit unstable.
Oh, let me just have a look.
Can you guys hear me still?
I can hear you. It's breaking up a little bit.
I did wonder.
Just a little bit.
Okay. Well, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, and I can see your screen. Press Q&A.
Okay, that's not where I want it to be. Sorry. Let me just take it a bit back to the start. And,
okay.
Yeah, okay, so I'm just going through the agenda. So let's just go right into it. Just to take a turn to answer these questions. How do you want your customers to feel using your services? Shirin, do you want to go first? And it doesn't have to be any big, massive statement. It can be as simple as one word. Well, if someone is going to use your services, let's talk about ABC as the organization, and people who join as your potential customers, in quotes, or anyone who's going to enjoy your services. How do you want them to feel? Over to you.
I want them to feel included and understood and empowered to move forward.
Absolutely. And I think that that's really great. Okay. Basi, are you able to talk? Mary, are you able to talk? If you can talk, just unmute and speak. I'll give you like 3 seconds.
Yeah,
Go
I
for
think,
it.
yeah, I think for my, like,
Just one
obviously,
word
Shireen has
or
talked
3 words,
about, I
whichever
know,
way.
Shireen has talked about APC, I'll talk about Mary Fash. I think for me,
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to feel cared for and like, so cared for and understood as well. And at the end of the day, they get everything they want.
Okay. Right. Okay. So the reason I asked this question is because, and I'll use a very simple analogy, for an example organization I know is, it's very important to be very intentional about how you want your customers to feel. It cannot be by accident. It cannot be by mistake. It can't be, oh yeah, they stumbled across good service today and all of a sudden tomorrow it was entirely different. Because there are some brands like that. You walk in today and Sister ABC is the nicest staff employee to you, and you go there a week later, you experience the worst from someone else, and you start hearing things like, oh, I prefer that person to serve me, or I prefer that person to offer the service to me, or I don't want to go to this particular branch. And when these sort of things happen, it's almost, sometimes you actually wonder if they've actually defined what they want customers to experience, and if teams know. And I'd like to ask this question because I've been to a number of organizations where the leadership know how they want their customers to feel, but the employees and the staff don't know. So it is subject to so much interpretation that it gets lost in translation, and it's almost like the customer is the one that is left to suffer. So one thing I would like to mention here is, and I'll use an example, is define what you want your customers to experience, write it down and let it shine through all the different channels and touch points you use to interact with your customers. So I'll give you an example. I know an organization that they want their customers to feel like kings and queens, and that's very interesting because that speaks a lot about royalty, respect, VIP class, and they like to use words like that when they contact their customers. They didn't just go hey or hi, and it's not like they can't use hey or hi, but they are trying to stay within a specific type of persona they have created of who they see their customer as. My customer is a queen, my customer is a king. So because of that, I want them to feel like I'm in a red carpet every time I talk to them. I want them to feel like they're getting that respect. I want to use specific type of emojis when I'm responding to them on via our customer service chat. All I'm trying to say is, when you define how you want your customers to feel, your company values, your communication channels, how you speak to your customers, how you address them, the time you address them, the platforms you bring them on, you start to notice that all those things will start to take shape, or you need to be intentional about it. So it's just something to think about and a bit of a homework there. How do I want my customers to feel? Okay. Do my customers feel this way when I sell to them? Do my customers feel this way when I support them? Do my customers feel this way when I answer their questions? Do customers feel this way when I respond to them on IG or any communication channels? Do customers feel this way when I send them emails, or is it that you're trying to sound supportive, but your emails are sounding very aggressive because you're only going there to say deadline, you must pay, you must buy, that sort of thing. So it's just something to really think about. And it's true, exactly. And if you don't make it a duty to define it and let your teams understand it, everybody will want to do what they know best. And what you find is that when a team doesn't understand the company values and the definition of how customers should be treated, what happens is that they go back to their defaults, and the employees' defaults is either something they've picked up from religion, they've picked up from culture, or they've picked up from other experiences in life. So we need to be very careful. I'm not saying those things are not good or those things are bad. All I'm just saying is that it wouldn't be consistent. Okay, people can have their individual signatures to things, but there still needs to be an overall kind of like overarching description of how you see your customers and how you want them to feel, and the customer should know as well, because that's the test. So let's talk about some things from the leadership perspective. What can I do to build a customer experience vision that drives all that creates that robust customer experience framework. Remember that we are talking about strategies here. And in terms of strategies for team, not a divide where you have to choose whether you are the head of the organization